What is your American dream?
My American dream would be to end school mass shootings.
My dream for America is peace. I've been wanting that like all the time.
Dream America is toys.
My American dream is to become a professional ballerina.
My dream for America is everyone could have fireworks everywhere since some people can't see the fireworks from here.
My dream for America is for people to understand how this country was brought about, make the American dream possible for all citizens.
My dream for America is a unified country.
My dream for America is to nurture young entrepreneurs, especially in the minority community. We need to strengthen the economic power in the Afro-American community.
My American dream is what I'm living right now every day, and that's to enjoy my family, my friends, and my coworkers every day, and get involved in my community and do my best to be the change that I see that needs to be.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. Brad Show Live. It is Thursday, September 2nd. It's Wacky Thursday. I'm feeling in a bit of a wacky mood today.
Oh.
I don't know how long I'll be wacky, but certainly at least for the short term, I feel very wacky right now.
Okay.
How you feeling, Nesquik? What if one word to describe how you feel right now, other than good?
Zen.
Zen.
Ooh.
Okay, Uncle Brad's wacky. Nesquik is zen. One word to describe how you're feeling right now, Yo-Yo.
Good.
No, good's not a description. Go back, Julie. Go back to Yo-Yo. He has to give a better description than good. I feel good. You sound like my kids. How you doing? Good.
Good.
No, nobody wants to
okay.
hear that. How you feeling? Give a good descriptive word.
I could say satisfied.
Satisfied.
Yes, satisfied.
Really?
Because I got a lot of things done that I needed to get done today. So I'm satisfied.
All right, so you feel accomplished.
Yes, there you go.
Accomplished. And Nesquik, you feeling zen? Did you work out? Did you meditate, yoga? What did you do?
I just dealt with a lot of traffic, so this is the part where I'm just breathing. I'm with my boys. I'm just hanging out. It's Wacky World, you know.
Traffic's done. Traffic's done. I just feel very wacky right now, but I always feel wacky at the start of a show, especially on Thursdays. It's been a long week for me. Yes. I work, 10, 11 hours. I'm at the gym in the morning before the show. I can't work out after the show. I'm done.
Yeah.
I definitely can't. I work out first thing in the morning. I'm at the gym at 7 now. Got to get into some fighting shape.
Hey.
That's right. And so by the time the show rolls around 6:30, I'm in a wacky mood. Let's see how everybody. That's why we call it Wacky Thursday. It's not because of the news. It's because Uncle Brad's wacky all day long. All right, let's go see who's watching here. Ninny God Pickney, squad up. Joan Ambitious Powell, how are you? Denise Johnson Green, squad up. Earth Angel. I wish I could sing. It's the one time,
Earth Angel.
If someone said to me the other day, they said to me, if you had one superpower, what would it be? And I said my superpower would be superpower singing.
What?
I would want to be the superhero of singing. I wish I could sing.
That would be your superpower?
That would be my superpower, singing.
Of all the things.
I would bring beauty to the world. Up, Singing Man is here, and I would sing.
You can travel through time, you can disappear, you can be invisible, but you want to sing.
I want to sing.
Got it.
That's interesting.
That would be my superpower. Latoya is forever fit. I just reminded me because Earth Angel, the song Earth Angel, but I can't sing it.
Can't sing it.
Run up, I can't. Jessica Kalimi, Joel, squad up. Now, ask me next week what my superpower will be. It could change. I'm
sure
just telling you how I felt at this moment.
Okay.
Okay, because
Sure
I'm wacky. Now that I think about it, maybe traveling through time could be an interesting, better than singing.
I think a lot.
I think you're onto something there, Nesquik. All right, let's see. Stargirl, Mika, Paulette, Bryce, Cameron, squad up. Marcia McCullough, how are you? Deborah Smith, Catherine Thamakis, bless up. Catherine blesses us. Thank you. Marcia McCullough, squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Jeremy Goldberg.
Uh-oh.
It is Poetry Thursday.
Yes, it is.
When I'm feeling wacky, Jeremy Goldberg feels rhymey. Okay, let's see what Jeremy has to say today. It's the 2nd of September. It's never been more important to remember to tell your friends, your sister, and your dad about this great show about a guy named Brad. What? Huh?
It's the 2nd of September. It's never been more important to remember to tell your friends, your sister, and your dad about this great show about a guy named Brad.
I didn't read it right.
You gotta rap it.
I didn't read it right. You see, I can't sing. I need that super.
You got that rhyme.
I need that superpower. Yeah. Okay. Yo-Yo got it right.
There you go, Jay.
Okay, I like
Rhymes,
it.
I got your back.
I like it now.
Yeah.
Now I like it.
I actually like it too.
Okay, very good. Thumbs up. Congratulations. We like
got
it.
you, bro.
All right. And by the way, Earth Angel. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Vanessa?
When you read it right, there's no way you can't like it.
Exactly. I just read it wrong. So basically, we just don't like the way Uncle Brad read it.
Right.
Earth Angel, she's double fisting.
Hey.
And 29 Super C. Where has 29 Super C been?
Oh. I've seen 29 Super C like last week.
Been missing. Oh, he's been around? 29?
I believe so.
Yeah, where's his buddy Tally? Tally hasn't been around.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 29 Super C would know because they're buddies.
Yeah.
And Lincoln A with a pre-question of the day. Just replied to an RFE from my husband, United States long-form birth certificate. Sent it out this past Tuesday to USCIS. How long will it take USCIS to let us know about our case once it gets to their office? Matt, this is only because it's wacky, only the Magic 8 Ball would know. Magic 8 Ball on an RFE, it's supposed to be 120 days or less, but of course USCIS never complies with that 120-day compliance. Will, on Lincoln A's husband's case, will USCIS comply within 120 days? Magic 8 Ball says, cannot predict now. You know, nobody can predict. It's COVID times. I can't predict, and now even the Magic 8 Ball can't predict. Jonathan, Vanessa, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It's time for you to share on all social media platforms because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including the Northeast getting slammed by the remnants of Hurricane Ida, causing historic flooding here in New York City.
Oof. And it's Thursday, squad, so we'll be spanning the globe for Wacky World news and hearing about a Serbian hermit who lives in a cave and is encouraging every citizen to receive the COVID-19 vaccine.
And of course, you could always call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. When you're calling Spar and Bernstein, that telephone number, you are calling to either book an appointment with me or you're calling to get on our show. Right now, we have 9 open lines. It's the Thursday before Labor Day. Mm-hmm. People maybe don't have a lot of immigration issues and problems. Great time to call. We have some open lines. So our lines are open right now. You'll be able to speak to me in about 20 minutes or so after our schmooze and our Wacky World news. But right now, Oh, not right now. Later in the show, I forgot that part.
Right.
And later in the show, Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette, bless you, Yo-Yo,
Thank you.
will tell us about a recent successful case in which a couple from Jamaica who has been seeking sanctuary from deportation by living in churches for over 2 years are about to become green card holders. And now,
There we go.
right now, at this very moment, what you've been waiting for,
Oh yeah.
the Schmooze.
The Schmooze.
Now, when we got off the air yesterday, Vanessa, while you were all comfy down there in Miami,
Oh my goodness.
Yo-Yo and I, we had no idea in the studio that about the downpour that was coming in.
I got messed up.
Yeah, how messed up did you get?
Real messed up. That's what I saw.
That's what you saw.
Yes.
We had no idea this was happening,
No.
right? Like, I knew it was raining.
This is what I saw.
I knew it was raining, and I said, oh, I should take an umbrella with me.
Right.
But how did you get home last night, Yo-Yo?
Hours later.
Hours? How
Yes.
many hours did it take you?
It took me 2.5 hours.
You couldn't get in the subway, right?
No.
So how'd you get home?
There
was
were
no
no
taxis,
Ubers,
no Ubers.
so we were just waiting. I walked some parts. I didn't
Did
tell
you-
you guys
you
all the
walk-
stuff. I
you
almost didn't come today because
You
I was like,
you walked in the rain?
Yeah.
For how long?
A good amount of time.
Like, what's a good amount of time? Because it was raining. It was raining hard yesterday. It was bad.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I meant to ask you guys earlier.
It was bad. I had an umbrella and I walked home. Yeah, I had an
No
umbrella.
Ubers, no buses, no trains.
How did you get home? You didn't walk all the way to Harlem in that rain. You did not walk all the way to Harlem in that rain.
I walked most of the way.
You walked most of the way
I had
in the rain.
There, downtown and midtown, the trains we couldn't get on, so I had to get on like different trains, look for what trains were running, what weren't.
Were there a lot of people walking?
Everybody was. There were cars in the middle of the street. It looked like The Walking Dead. Like people just
Yeah,
left
I
their
know.
cars.
An apocalypse.
Yeah.
People are comparing it to an apocalypse.
Yeah.
So,
Now New York declared a state of emergency. At least 18 people have died in New York. I'm sorry, at least 30. It's a new update now.
Oh, man.
Over 36 people have died in 4 states: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, including a 2-year-old boy and his grandparents who drowned in a basement apartment in Queens. 8 people died in the city after becoming trapped in a flooded basement apartments. 1 person was killed after getting caught in flash floods in Westchester. 8 died in New Jersey, including 4 found in the same apartment complex. And we may find more dead, unfortunately, as the night goes on tonight.
Jeez.
Almost all the city subway lines, as Yo-Yo discovered, were flooded. Mayor de Blasio said on Twitter, we're enduring a historic weather event. New York Governor Kathy Hochul. How cool? Well, how do you pronounce her name, Julie? Hochul told CNN the rain was far more than anyone really expected and left the region in a very dire situation.
My thing is
the weather person.
Right, because
Come on, weather person.
the last hurricane they predicted, quote unquote, it was nothing but like a little bit of rain.
Nothing.
They didn't even tell us anything about this.
You know, the last hurricane, I left Atlanta early to beat it home because I didn't think I was going to get home for days.
Right.
And it was nothing.
It was nothing. The only reason why I even brought my umbrella was because I walked out when I was on my way here and I was like, oh, dang, it's raining a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me take my umbrella. That's the only reason.
Yeah, nobody told us this was going to happen. Did anyone tell us that the subways were going to take a shower? Now,
Swimming with the rats.
Now, after the fact, the National Weather Service in New York said, oh, maybe you should get off the streets, people.
Oh, you think?
Oh, gee, you think?
Yeah. Hours in.
Yeah. Now, this morning, we had no idea when we got off the air what we were getting into.
What?
Yeah, now this morning, the New York Fire Department said rescuers had been removing people from flooded roadways and subways across New York City. At least 5 flash flood emergencies were issued Wednesday evening by the National Weather Service. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy declared a state of emergency. President Biden said he'd spoken to the governors and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. I think President Biden needs to speak to the weatherman or weatherwoman.
That part.
The weather people.
That part.
We have to be better prepared. Let people know, by the way, the roads are going to be flooded. Stay off the roads.
I mean, well, the last time they warned us, nothing happened.
Yeah.
So who's to know when it actually will?
It was the largest rainfall ever recorded in New York. More than 8 inches of water in some places, 10 inches in others. More than 5 inches of rain fell per hour. How do they not know it's going to be the largest rainfall in the history of New York City? And nobody tells you.
That's so insane to me. Yeah, my mom was stuck in traffic for 5 hours.
Oh
she
my
was going to go step out and pick my sister up at work, and she only got to step out. She couldn't even get anywhere.
Crazy. And in other weather-related situations, in Louisiana, almost 1 million people are still without power. Lieutenant Governor Bill Nungesser told CNN because of scarce supplies and uncertain timelines about utility restoration, evacuees should stay away until they're told to come back. In Louisiana, they're saying, don't come home.
Right.
Don't come home. When they're saying don't come home, that means in Louisiana, you are not getting electricity for weeks.
Yeah, that's a problem.
All right? Because if they knew they were getting electricity back in a day or two, they'd be like, yeah, come back. Come on back. We need to open up Louisiana.
Right.
When they're saying don't come back, they're saying like 30 days from now, maybe you'll be able to turn the lights on. That's crazy too.
Yeah.
That's as crazy as nobody told us it was going to downpour in New York.
I couldn't even imagine being out of gas, electricity, all of that for 30 days.
Yes, awful. Awful. Now, more than 977,000 homes and businesses in Louisiana, more than 37,000 in Mississippi are without electricity. President Biden,
he's got some work.
He's gonna take a trip around Louisiana. And he's gonna go walk around Louisiana. He's gonna go, yep, problems.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to take a walk around to determine that one.
Nah.
But he's gonna do it just for the photo op to look like he's doing something.
Oh, yikes.
In more weather-related news, the Caldor fire in Lake Tahoe is fast-moving. Lake Tahoe has now evacuated 54,000 residents. Hello, God?
Yeah, please.
Why couldn't you turn the hurricane to Lake Tahoe? That's where they needed 5 inches of rain per hour. We didn't need it here. It went the wrong way. The Caldor fires burned more than 76 square miles, consumed 210,000 acres. It is now California's 17th largest wildfire on record. The fire is being fueled by dangerously dry conditions. California Governor Gary Newsom declared a state of emergency. Gavin Newsom, thank you very much. You say tomato, I say tomato. So far, the Caldor fires threatened 32,387 structures, destroyed 622 homes. 40 structures have been damaged, and at least approximately 40 structures have been damaged and 5 injuries reported. And through 14 active fires going on right now in California. And for anyone who still says climate change is not a real concern, according to global data released early this month by the National Center for Environmental Information, they give out information on the environment. That's why they're called the National Center for Environmental Information. July 2021 has earned the unenviable distinction as the world's hottest month ever. Ever. You ever been like, you ever see like, wow, this is the hottest ever, and you think people are exaggerating?
It actually was.
It actually was the hottest ever. Why am I screaming? Maybe somebody will listen. We all, something's got to happen here with this climate. All right? I mean, New York City, people walking around like zombies. It's like apocalypse.
It's scary.
Right? California's on fire. Louisiana's got no electricity for a month.
It's scary. Scary times,
What do you think's next is going to happen? Vanessa, prediction. What's the next thing that's going to happen?
no, are you kidding? You know how many times we've joked around about things and zombie apocalypses, and then we were in quarantine for an entire year, and
yeah,
then
I ain't even trying to play with it. I ain't even trying to play.
I'm not predicting anything.
Right. Next question. I plead the fifth.
All right. Well, obviously, you know, we haven't seen the last. My belief.
Oh, don't say
the last of the murder hornets.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm expecting an infestation of murder hornets.
Oh, no.
They come and they swarm you and literally kill you. Everyone will have to stay inside from the bees. What do you think? I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But everyone's warning about the murder hornets. Like, I'm expecting murder hornets.
Weren't they talking about this like years ago?
Yeah, but I'm still expecting them at any day.
I actually thought though that was supposed to, because I remember years ago they were talking about that, and I was like, because I hate birds, but I'm terrified of bees. Not the birds and the bees to put together, but.
Well, when the murder hornets come, we're gonna play this back, and we're gonna say, I predicted it. And if the murder hornets never come, we're gonna bury this show. Nobody will ever see it again.
And if they come, you won't be seeing me here because I am at home, not moving.
Meanwhile, on Monday, because President Biden's got to do something, Secretary Xavier Becerra said the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they are going to establish an office to address climate change. They're going to rent a space, put some desks in there. They're going to turn the lights on. People are going to go to the office there. They now have an office for climate change.
There you go.
There you go. So I think everything will be okay now because they have an office for climate change. I mean, come on, man. That's all you got to announce is you open up an office for climate change? When are we going to do something?
I mean, it's better than what Trump was saying, where he was saying that there is no such thing. So at least they're, you know, I'm looking at the optimistic thing. At least they're making, you know, things happen. This is better than denying that there is climate change. At least that's from me.
Can you imagine in the Oval Office, President Biden, New York City's underwater, Louisiana, there's no electricity, California's on fire. What should we do? Let's open an office.
I think that's a great place to start, Mr. President.
That's a great idea. I'll make the announcement. We're opening an office. Give me a break. Give me a break. And another trifling news. It's not even ridiculous. It's trifling. Texas, the day after abortion became illegal in Texas, okay, Texas, a new law went into effect in Texas. Same day, actually. They didn't even wait 24 hours. You can now carry a gun in Texas as long as you don't have a felony. No license, no nothing. You own a gun, you can carry it. It's like the Wild West.
No, you
and
know what it's like?
Oh, by the way, you got to be over 21.
Oh.
You got to be over 21 to carry a gun and no felony. That's about it. That's the only requirement to openly carry a gun in Texas.
I want to know anybody in the comments or even you, Nesquik, anybody has ever seen Handmaid's Tale? If y'all have seen it, I feel like Texas is turning into that.
Republican supporters of the bill have argued that by removing the licensing requirement, they are removing an artificial barrier to residents' right to bear arms under the Constitution.
So that's under, we're going to emphasize that aspect of the Constitution, but we're not going to focus on human rights and decisions. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you would be killing a fetus, but once the fetus is alive, we can shoot the hell out of it.
Right.
That's basically it.
I mean, I was thinking that, not that particularly, but yeah, just one day to the next. It's so bizarre, truly. Like,
so bizarre.
I can't make a choice, but we can, carry this gun. Mm-hmm. Anyone over 21.
Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia with the most obvious comments about all of this says, you know, with this open gun policy, it's going to be really hard for the police to differentiate a good guy with a gun from a bad guy with a gun.
That part.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't sound like they even care.
According to Karzowski, now Karzowski, who's Karzowski? We don't, somebody. Another. Okay, so according to Karzowski, he's with Everytown, which is an anti-gun lobby group. One of the reasons that open carry is so dangerous is because it's so difficult to enforce. It's hard for law enforcement when they see someone walking down the street with a military-style assault weapon to understand their intentions and respond accordingly. I'm just going to tell you something, okay? Texas is going to become a very dangerous place.
It's going backwards.
It's going to just be a very, very dangerous place there in Texas. A lot of people are moving to Texas. They're going to be moving out soon, too.
I'll be moving out.
They'd be moving out soon, too. Meanwhile, one student who was shot yesterday in a school in North Carolina. The gunman got away. They found the gunman. It was in Mount Tabor High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And the suspect is a fellow student who is not being identified because probably under 18 years old. And President Biden has said that he wants to change the law, abortion law in America. He wants to be able to enshrine Roe versus Wade as a law. That is not going to happen. There's too many conservative congressmen and senators. You need 60 senators to pass that. So that's like opening up an office for climate change.
Extremely effective.
Extremely effective. So, coronavirus, by the way, here's some good news, Vanessa.
Good news.
Yeah, 80% of Americans are either vaccinated or have antibodies for coronavirus.
Okay.
So that means that America shortly, hopefully, could be, possibly, perhaps, nobody really knows for sure, but getting close to what is called herd immunity. And once we get herd immunity, at least in theory, things could possibly, perhaps, maybe, only the magic 8-ball would know for sure, go back to somewhat normal. So that's some good news. All of those uncertainties. But at least, because nobody knows what's going to happen, but 80% of Americans have vaccinated or have some sort of immunity to COVID. Isn't that good news?
It's good news when I see the death toll and all of the bad stuff going down.
We are trying to give some good news here.
Well, like I said, I got to see the stats. Mm-hmm. Then I'll be happy.
This is according, by the way, this is according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. If you believe them.
I mean, I believe that 80%, if that's what they say, but I just need to see the death toll.
By the way, I'm doing this because
it's hot. Climate change inside this room.
Climate change inside. It is climate. I'm going to tell you something. We are not doing our part. We are not doing our part for climate change because these lights are burning the hell out of us here.
Wow.
All right. Is there a way that we could maybe shut the lights off and do our part here, perhaps?
No. Not with me being here, especially.
we would be in the dark, I think.
Yes.
Unfortunately. All right. Are you ready for wacky news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. A Serbian hermit who lives in a cave. He found out recently about COVID. He went and got vaccinated. I don't know why he needed to get vaccinated. He lives in a cave. He's not coming. He's a hermit. He doesn't come into contact with anybody. But he decided he was going to get vaccinated anyway. Panta Petrovic, here he is. 70 years old, discovered there was a pandemic only recently when he ventured out of his cave and visited the nearby town of Perot, despite choosing social distancing as a way of life. Petrovic got the jab as soon as COVID-19 vaccines became available. He says he doesn't understand the fuss some vaccine skeptics make and underlined that he believes in a process that aims to eradicate disease. I want to get all 3 doses, including the extra one. I urge every citizen to get vaccinated. Now, that is a great spokesperson for vaccination. Let's bring the man out. He lives in a cave. He's not crazy at all. He's completely sane. Let's all listen to him. Do we have any sound?
Wow.
Is there any sound from our hermit?
I mean, it makes sense for him. It makes sense for him to get it if he's, visiting the town. So, and people are over there.
Actually, if he's visiting the town,
I mean,
right.
And now there are people that are interviewing him, so that means camera guys, producers that are all in his cave.
I just think, why are they parading this guy out as like the guy that we should all listen to get vaccinated? The guy who lives in a cave. Why is he the expert?
But he had no idea, and even he thinks it's the way to go.
Is that what? Okay, so that's perhaps the way it is. Maybe. Oh. Now, he gave up a career as a mechanical engineer 15 years ago in a bid to distance himself from the modern world, and he moved into a cave.
Could never do it.
Would you ever live in a cave, Jonathan?
Just answered your question before you even asked.
Vanessa Nesco Contreras, you and your Libra boyfriend in a cave, off the grid. No social media. You're like Fred and Wilma Flintstone. What do you think? Is that a life for you?
I might not be a life for him, but actually it might not be a life for me either. That I don't. Remember, Libras like nice things. Libras nice things.
Right. I couldn't even do it for a week, unless I was getting paid for something like this, like Survivor.
Wow, Jonathan.
That's it.
Meanwhile,
human experiment.
Huh?
What if it's just a human experiment?
Get another human. I fail. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're coming into 2021, and it's not enough that we have some woke culture. Sharks are starting to get woke also. Yep, they don't want to be called man-eating monsters anymore, sharks. And when people come into contact with a shark, because some sharks could be nice, they're not all mean, man-eating creatures. Now we are supposed to call an incident with a shark a negative encounter instead of a shark attack. Vanessa, if you come into contact with a shark and he bites your arm off, is that just a negative encounter, or is that a shark attack?
I want you to go back to the part where we're saying that they no longer, as in the sharks.
The sharks have feelings now,
and they have decided.
Yes.
That is not the proper way.
They have contacted their PR.
Correct.
Is what,
right. Man-eating sharks apparently have a PR problem, and there are shark experts out there that want to fix this.
Sharks have feelings too.
Yes. Now the shark experts, they want to rebrand the shark attack as the negative encounter.
I'm good, y'all.
Yes.
I'm good.
Now, campaigners have long called for a change in the language used to describe the shark attack. They want to stop painting these animals as vicious man-eaters, but cuddly little creatures that are just kind of hungry.
Right.
The Australian Marine Conservation Society has already taken the step. The Sydney Morning Herald reports that a government website set up to monitor incidents have already made the switch. Beware of negative encounters with sharks instead of shark attacks. The Department of Primary Industries in New South Wales is making a change too, pointing out that victims often refer to their own experiences as incidents. 8 people were killed in shark-related incidents in Australia last year. But the sharks say it was all accidental. They didn't really mean to do anything.
How many people were killed by fishies, and how many by whales? How many by squids?
I don't know, but the sharks say the sharks say it was all accidental. It was like a fender bender. They didn't know. They weren't looking. They weren't watching. It's just a negative encounter.
This new generation of sharks is something else. That's what I tell you. Because I know the sharks in the 70s, the Jaws would say something different.
Yeah, they were tougher. Right?
They were tougher. They owned up to their bad vibes.
That's right. They would jump on Roy Scheider's boat and try to eat him.
Yeah, and not care.
Right.
This new generation of sharks.
Exactly. It's just all the conversation, all this awareness.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that this is what people think about? And this made the news?
Isn't that wacky?
It is.
I think Joe Biden needs to start an office of negative encounters for sharks. I think he should open up an office in the U.S. government, negative shark encounter office. Put it right next to the climate change office.
Carol Anderson, the tiger, says, I will never be in contact with a shark.
Meanwhile, the skeleton of a 66 million year old giant Triceratops, thank you.
This is the one with the 3 horns.
Could soon belong to a lucky dinosaur enthusiast for about $1.4 million.
What?
The specimen, dubbed the Big John, has a skull 8 feet 7 inches long, 6 feet 7 inches wide, 3 feet, and his longest horns are 3 feet 7 inches long, more than 30 centimeters wide, which is 11.8 inches wide at the base, almost a foot long at the base. The dinosaur lived in Laramidia, an island continent which stretched from present-day Alaska to Mexico.
Wow.
What? Laramidia? I missed that on the map.
Well, that was before the map. That was pre-map.
This was pre-map?
Yes. I don't think.
What's this, Lord of the Rings for?
I don't think people were actually making maps while dinosaurs were on.
Doesn't it sound like Laramidia is from like Lord of the Rings?
It does.
Yes, we will go to Laramidia and we will
conquer
it. Right.
This is actually like amazing to me. I've always been like between Greek gods and goddesses and dinosaurs. I've always been fascinated growing up. So this is like awesome to me. This is real.
By the way, do you want to know why the dinosaurs don't exist anymore? They got soft. Okay, they started saying, hey, we're not having dinosaur attacks on the humanoids anymore. It's just a negative encounter. We're really more fuzzy than we are anything else. They got soft and they became extinct. Listen up, sharks, right?
Right.
Okay, listen up, sharks.
Take notes
from the dinosaurs.
From your ancestors.
That's right.
That ended up.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, Vanessa, we got one more wacky news. Left or right? Right or left? Wait, was this your left or my left? All right.
We're gonna.
Do you want over the schmoozing side or over the iPad?
We could go with the schmoozing, I guess. Schmoozing.
You're right.
I don't know what happened to Vanessa.
Yeah.
She said schmoozing, so
I didn't hear her. I didn't hear her.
Yeah, so you're right.
So she wants it over the schmoozing.
Yes, that's your right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, new research is shedding light on how the Stonehenge monument in southern England has remained standing since it was erected roughly 5,000 years ago. Researchers from the University of Brighton have determined that it was constructed really well. Yeah. That is what they have figured out, how it has stood up for 5,000 years. They have determined through a comprehensive analysis of samples taken directly from the Stonehenge that the geological and chemical structure of the stones are indestructible.
Oh, wow.
Yes. During a restoration program at Stonehenge in the 1950s, a stonecutter named Robert Phillips managed to retrieve a cylindrical core sample of one of the stones measuring about 3 feet long. Phillips brought the souvenir back with him to the United States and was in possession of it for several decades until he provided the material for research in 2018. Professor David Nash, a co-author of the study, said in a statement, "It is extremely rare as a scientist you get the chance to work on samples of such national and international importance. They have determined the Stonehenge stones are indestructible." Indestructible.
Oh.
That's why it is standing. Why is it
5,000
indestructible?
years.
We don't know.
Because it was constructed well.
It was constructed very well, according to these researchers. Only in Wacky News, they're researching that. All right, we got, you know what? I'm going to tell you, the only thing wackier than Wacky World News Thursday.
I already know what it is.
Wait. 7. Researchers said CAT scanning, X-rays, microscopic analysis, and other techniques, and discovered that the sarsens, the massive boulders that make up the monument, are composed of sand-sized quartz grains that are cemented tightly together by an interlocking mosaic of quartz crystals. That's how they determined it is indestructible.
See?
So what I was going to say is there's only one thing wackier. Only one thing that I'm aware of that is wackier than Wacky World Thursday.
I think I know what it is.
And what that is bragications on a porn site. So let's watch our next bragication on OnlyFans, where I talk about 3 things you should never post on social media if you're trying to get a visa or United States residency. Of course, our bragications are only, exclusively, on OnlyFans.tv. My goal is straightforward: to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your Immigration Bragication. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. U.S. immigration law is complex and the regulations are constantly changing. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. The Department of Homeland Security collects the social media information of not only anyone who's trying to get a visa or United States residency, but even those who are already naturalized United States citizens. From aliases to photos to likes, all of this is collected and stored in your permanent immigration digital files. So social media posts can be used against you in your immigration case. Now, obviously, the first rule of thumb is to use common sense and think before you post for all the world to see. But some posts that can get you in trouble might really surprise you. Number 1, don't post that you're getting a new job. Number 2, do not post that you are looking for work in the United States if you do not have work authorization. 3, do not post questions on how to set up a United States company in order to obtain a visa. The U.S. government can deem this as improper entry. If so, then that person would be in violation of 8 U.S. Code 1325, which states any individual who knowingly establishes a commercial enterprise for the purpose of evading any provision of the immigration laws shall be imprisoned for not more than 5 years. All right, you got a question? I hopefully got some answers for you. Call right now, 1-800-529-5465. I'll give you a hint. We still have some open lines. It's the last show before Labor Day, so we will no pop-up tomorrow. So if you got a burning question, now's the time to call, or wait till Tuesday, right, Yo-Yo? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to Wednesday. Why Wednesday? We're not on show Tuesday? Oh, Rosh Hashanah's Tuesday. I should know that. Duh. Wait till Wednesday then. Come on, Yo-Yo's telling me about Rosh Hashanah. How do you know it? I don't. All right, let's go to Shri. It's Fremont, California. Shri.
Hey, hi, Uncle Brad.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on?
I have like 2 questions.
Yes.
Currently, actually, I'm a FN student and I'm out of status, and I'm married to a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
And my question is like last year my wife did not work, so we did not file for I-485 adjustment of status. And
why didn't your wife work last year? What?
Oh yeah, she lost her job because of pandemic.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have someone, anybody, a friend, a family member? There's 300+ million people who live in America as U.S. citizens or residents. Do you have anybody, you know, any one of the 300 million+ people in America who can give you an affidavit of support?
Yeah, I'm getting and we got a. Her friend, we got a sponsorship now.
Right. And so even if she's not working, file the adjustment so you can get your work permit and green card.
Yeah, we filed like last month. Like it's been like 1 month now.
Okay.
And my question is like, how long it's gonna take like to get my employment and employment authorization and travel permit?
If it was done properly, about 5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months from
Yes.
right now.
From the time you file, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. And when we getting an interview like in
About
like
a year.
what?
About a year. But
time?
again,
1 year?
in about a year. But again, I can't tell you for certain because A, I didn't handle the case, and B, nobody knows what's going to happen with COVID.
Yeah. And also like we got our I-130s approved already.
Okay, that doesn't make any difference on your case because you're married to a citizen. You still have to process through the adjustment and go for a marriage interview. So it's not going to make your case go faster, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Let's go to Inku in Syracuse. Inku. Hi, Inku.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Sir, I am married with from Syracuse. I am married with the USA citizen girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I apply for the green card. We got a 2-year green card. 2017 I married.
Mm-hmm.
2-year green card got it after they send the good faith marriage letter. I again send the paperwork, and again interview is coming. So August now, and again we go interview, and they say you have arrest. I say yes, I have arrest. They said you have a dismiss case. I say yes, I have a. So they send the letter. They say dismiss position letter send and a traffic ticket. I send it already, and again one letter is today coming, and they again interview is next month.
Mm-hmm. And so far, you give me a statement. So far, you and your wife together?
No, now she apply the 18. This 18 she apply the September, August. She live in the now separate. She no come home. She take the clothes.
So if you and your wife are, all right. So if you and your wife, all right. So if you and your wife are no longer together, first of all, let's talk about your arrest. You have an arrest that was dismissed. You have a traffic ticket. That doesn't matter. So both of those issues are non-issues. Your only issue that you have is that you have a pending I-751 to remove the conditions of your permanent residence that has not yet been approved. You have to either prove you are in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, or you were in a bona fide marriage with your spouse and you were physically abused or going through a divorce and getting divorced. So unless there was some abuse, my suggestion to you is if your wife has moved out, you got to look out for number one, which is you. You're number one. Start a divorce immediately. Bring proof that the divorce has started along with proof that it was a real marriage, and write a letter and request in a letter that you bring to your interview that they convert your pending joint I-751 application to a waiver of the joint application based on a bona fide marriage that is being terminated by divorce. But you need to start the divorce now. If you ask it in letter form, they have to convert it and give you an RFE and give you the time to complete the divorce. So do that.
Okay, she restraining order. She took a restraining order this 18.
That's fine. A restraining order, as long as it doesn't turn into a criminal case, actually proves it's a bona fide marriage. I mean, I'm not, if she, you're threatening her, that's always, it doesn't make you look like a good person, for sure. But it proves a good marriage, a restraining order, because people in business marriages don't have restraining orders.
Yeah,
you don't need good moral character to remove the conditions. You just have to prove it was a real marriage. So it doesn't make you look good, that's for sure. Makes you look like a bad guy. But in terms of you getting a green card, which is what your question is, helps you.
Somebody say they deport you,
I don't know what you said. Say that again.
No, my friends say, if your wife say go with the interview, she is restraining order, so she wanted divorce, otherwise they deport you, deport.
I just told you how to handle your case so you don't get deported. But I'm not going to repeat myself twice. So hold on one second. You need a consultation then. You know, you go through a whole entire thing, and it's like they don't listen. He goes, am I going to get deported? I just told you you're not going to get deported and what to do.
This is what happens when it's free advice. I think they would listen a lot more if they're paying for the consultation. So y'all listen.
Yeah,
please.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I just told him. And he goes, well, am I going to get deported? All right, let's go to Omar in Orlando. Omar. Omar in Orlando. How are you?
How you doing?
What's going on?
So, I have I applied for my green card through marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my 2-year green card, and we applied together for the I-751, and I got my extension for the 18-month wife. But then recently the wife filed for divorce. Hello?
I'm listening to you. So you had a real bona fide marriage. Your wife, you filed a joint application to remove the conditions. Your wife is filing for a divorce. You got to do the same exact thing I just told the last gentleman, which is write immigration, tell them you are going through a divorce. Here is proof that you are going through a divorce. Your wife comes off the case. You request them to convert the I-751 to a waiver of the joint application. You can prove it was a real marriage. You can prove you will ultimately be divorced.
The only problem is we left the house. We have a baby together. But then I found out she had an affair. Like she was seeing somebody else, and during that time, I thought all this time the baby, like I was the father, and she told me that I'm not. Like,
well, you don't know that for a fact. What you should do is go take a paternity test and determine whether you're the father or not.
And
okay.
But she in the divorce paperwork where the separation part is, she was accusing me that. I intended like a sham marriage, and I just married her for the green card.
So she could be making all of this up for all you know. Okay? So she can accuse you of anything you want. You would need to get a local lawyer in Florida. I can't represent you in Florida in the divorce. Okay? And I would defend that and say it was not a sham marriage. It was a real marriage that you have irreconcilable differences. There's a child involved. You want to have a paternity test to determine whether you are the father or not. If you're not the father, you can still prove it was a real marriage and your wife cheated on you.
And actually, I'm the father on the birth certificate. I thought I was the father all this time.
But you don't know. You still may be the father. Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because your wife says you're not the father doesn't mean you're not the father.
Right.
You need to take a paternity test.
Another thing in the accusation, she was saying that she left the house in 2018, and she just recently left like the house after we filed like a month after.
Again, you need a good divorce attorney because obviously nothing she's saying in the accusations of a divorce are true.
Right. Yeah. So I need to get a divorce attorney first.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, but you still need an immigration consultation. Hold on. Let's go to Sula in Kampala, Uganda, if I pronounced that right.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Doing? Good, good. Yes, I have a question about how to, I'm a U.S. citizen, how to apply unclaimed child before.
Say it again?
How to apply I-130 for unclaimed children before.
You want to apply for an I-130 and what?
I want to apply I-130 for the children that I didn't mention before.
You want to apply for an I-130 for children you didn't mention before?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a green card? Are you a citizen?
Yeah, I'm a U.S. citizen, but they were born out of wedlock.
Okay, so, and how old are they now?
Yes, one is 8 years, one is 5 years.
Okay, so they were born out of wedlock. You applied for a green card. You didn't know anything about these children, and now you do. So you have to show that you're the biological father and that now you started a real relationship with your children. You were not an absentee father. If you can do that, based on what you're telling me, it sounds like you had out of wedlock children that you were not aware of, that now you are aware of, and you have a relationship with them, and they're under 18, and you're the biological dad. You can do that.
Right now we married. Right now we married.
If on the other hand, you knew about the children and you misrepresented about children, different story.
Button, please.
You are not going to be helped on this show, sir, because you can barely understand what I'm saying to you. So you need a consultation. Hold on. But I just told you the answer. Sandra in New York City. Sandra.
Yes. Hello?
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I have a really quick question. So I got married last year. So I had a civil wedding, which is a religious wedding. And then right after 2 months, I had the wedding in America, in the state. So I came here on an F1 visa. So I got married to my husband, U.S. citizen. And then I was abused very badly. So then I went and applied for VAWA. So it's been 11 or 12 months, and it's still pending. Also, in between, not too long ago, I had the I-30 interview. So I went to the interview by myself, and they are holding my I-485 and all my other application until I receive approval on my 360. Mm-hmm. But now the problem is, so my husband has sent me an annulment under fraud, immigration fraud. So I do have an attorney for the divorce that I'm fighting, but now I'm just trying to think. I have two questions, which is, what will happen if my marriage is annulled, right, under fraud? And second is that, so he was convicted because now he's going to he's going to anger management class because I was able to prove that, he abused me very badly.
All right. So, number one, there's no such thing as a fraudulent marriage if there was physical abuse. So, by definition, the fact that he was arrested and had to go through anger management, that's all your lawyer needs to do to defend an annulment. What your lawyer needs to do is countersue for divorce based on any grounds, cruel and inhuman treatment, irreconcilable differences, whatever. It's the easiest to prove. But an annulment means it was a fraudulent marriage. It means that you guys never lived together. There was no intention of living together.
Correct.
Okay. And that's impossible if the man is beating you up. You are obviously together. So, so for him to make that allegation and then for anyone to think that you would not be able to overcome that, of course you can. Okay? Any lawyer with a pulse would be able to overcome that and defeat that annulment. And I would countersue him for a divorce. You don't need to be married to this jerk anymore. And to answer your question, no, you don't want to have an annulment because an annulment means the marriage was void. It was a fraud. You don't want to.
Correct.
Okay, so
Correct,
you can't. So you just need to be divorced. That's all.
Correct, because I do have a court date very soon, but then of whatever he's doing, it's just like freaking me out. And then it's
an additional abuse. I mean, if I was your lawyer, I would be like, the man was arrested for abuse, and he's continuing to abuse her through the legal process.
Okay. So in that case, I have to fight off the annulment, right?
You fight the annulment and countersue for a divorce, but it's a simple case to win.
Okay, thank you so much,
welcome.
Brad. Thank
Good
you.
luck. Okay.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right. Muhammad in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Mr. Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Mr. Brad, today I got a call from my attorney. They have already filed for me like in EB3, and I'm on a pending asylum, and she called me today that, sorry, Muhammad, we cannot proceed with the adjustment of status because the date between the I-94 expiry and the asylum notice, the received notice, is like 90 days.
That's not
you
true.
Cannot be,
that's not true. Not true.
They told me you cannot go on
not
the
true.
245K.
Yeah, of course you can.
Now the question is that they told me like you have only one thing, and that is you will have to go through the consular processing. You can go to Canada.
Not true.
Go to consulate of the United
Not
States.
true. I would file
give
under,
an interview.
Not true. File under 245K.
They're refusing, sir. They're forcing to go on the consular processing.
All right, then hold on and have a consultation with me. Let's go to Alex in Patterson, New Jersey.
Hey, Mr. Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I filed for my mom in January, but I haven't received anything on the side other than it is actively reviewing. Is that normal?
You filed for your mom in January, you received nothing?
Yeah, only thing when I check the site is actively reviewing.
Okay, so that means, yeah, so that's fine. So you check the site, they received your application, they're looking at it. That's completely normal. You're not going to hear anything about your mom until the end of the year.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck. Let's go to Geepa in Seattle, Washington.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Mine is a quick one.
Uh-huh.
I filed, I'm asylum pending. My case is still pending. And I applied for DV lottery. And unfortunately, I was selected for further processing. So my question is, am I able to adjust my status?
Was there ever a time when you were out of status?
No, I wasn't out of status.
Never.
Yes, I applied. I got my notice period before I get out of status.
Then the answer is you can adjust your status here.
Am I able to adjust status?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
All right.
So
hold on.
Okay.
Let's go to Diva in Bettendorf, Iowa. Is that it?
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Is it Bettendorf, Iowa?
Yes, it is.
Okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I came here in 2012 on an H-4 visa with my family. And in 2012, right? And so in 2017, I got a study permit for Canada, and I moved to Canada. And then 2018, I switched to tourist visa, B2. And then since then, I've come here 2 weeks and maximum 3 months, just twice a year, to visit my family here. And then 2020, COVID hit. I was in residence. Residence closed. I had nowhere else to go, so I had to come to my parents' house here in Iowa. And after the 6 months was approaching, I applied for my first extension because the borders were closed, so I could not travel back to Canada. And I got the approval in August, but the date was backdated. No, I got the approval in June, and the date was backdated for March. And I was hoping that my process for my extension from my study permit in Canada would get approved before the 180 mark hit, and I would leave the country to go back to Canada. But since the process was taking longer, I applied for another second extension in August, and that is still under process. I just want to know if I'm still have a legal status here.
No, you're
because
out of,
there was a gap.
You're out of status because there's a gap.
I'm out of status?
Yes, and you're out of status now 3-4 months probably.
Even though I received,
It doesn't matter that they didn't notify you in time. You can only get extensions for 6 months periods of time. And just number two, planes were going between the United States and Canada. You couldn't drive across the border, but you could have flown. So to say that it was impossible to get back to Canada, that's not necessarily true either. But yes, you're out of status now.
Okay. When the first extension was done, the border was completely closed for international students. So if you were a citizen, you could have gone. I'm not a citizen.
I understand. Okay, that could be the case then. Okay.
Yeah, and the second one was I was planning to leave.
How old are you?
I am 22.
You're 22 years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have to request a non-pro-tonc extension, meaning that you want to go back in time 3 months, nunc pro tunc, go back in time 3 months and give you back that legal status, and get with a really good excuse.
Okay. So the only reason what my reasoning was why I haven't gone yet was because I'm waiting on my extension for my study permit in Canada because I had to extend it.
That's not an excuse. Where are you originally from?
India, but I have no family or friends.
It doesn't matter.
there.
You could still want to go back to India. I'm just telling you what immigration's going to say. All right. So
Okay,
you need a consultation. Hold on one second. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to David in Brooklyn. Hi,
Hello?
David.
Hello. I have an immigration visa interview very soon in F2B category at U.S. Embassy, but my parent has become U.S. citizen. My priority date is September 2014.
Are you in
At this
Brooklyn
point-
now?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been in Brooklyn?
It's my brother actually who has an interview.
Oh, I see.
with
Not
he-
you. Okay, fine.
Yeah. So at this point, is it better to move to F1 category by bringing naturalization form on interview?
It's not going to
or
make.
should I request to-
It's not going to make any difference. The priority dates are current on both sides.
What did you say?
It's not going to make a difference. The priority date is current for both categories in 2014.
Yeah, so it's better to move to F1, right?
Yeah, might
Or
as well.
does-
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Baljet in New York. Baljet.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, sir. I have two questions. First one is, like my husband, he overstayed his visa in UK, and then he was detained by UK immigration, and then he came back to his home country, and now I filed 130 for him. And do I have to complete? Is there a different proceeding for him for immigration for UK visa?
Well, if you're applying for America for his green card, the fact that he overstayed his time in the UK, had an immigration violation in the UK, has no bearing on him getting a green card in America. So he's fine, unless he had a criminal record in the UK.
No, it was just detained because of overstayed visa.
No, that's fine. That has no bearing on him getting a green card for America.
So there's any waiver that he
doesn't need any waiver, no.
No? Okay. And my second question is, I was a joint sponsor for my sister's husband when she filed for her husband in 2015. And I was just a joint sponsor. I just gave her the affidavit of support. So do I need to mention that?
Yes.
Do I need to count my sister's husband in my household now?
Yes, because you're still on the hook for them for 10 years.
Okay. All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
You're
sir.
welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's go to Jake in Monroe, Connecticut. Jake.
Hi, good evening, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I have a question. I'm a DACA recipient. I came illegally with my parents when I was 6. I'm currently a nurse right now, working, and my employer is willing to do an employment visa sponsorship. Is there any feasible way to go through that, being a DACA recipient?
Your parents have no status here, I assume, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And how old were you when you got DACA?
16.
The answer is yes. You conceivably can get sponsored as a registered nurse. You have to get a CGFNS visa screen, but you can conceivably be sponsored as a registered nurse. Where are you originally from?
Brazil.
Okay. You would have to go back to Brazil to pick up a green card, but you would not have a 10-year bar. Most people are scared to go back to Brazil or any country because they were undocumented here. But you don't get a 10-year bar because you didn't have any physical. You didn't have any unlawful presence after your 18th birthday because you were in legal status since you were 16. So since you have no unlawful presence, there is no 10-year bar. Yes, you would have to go back to Brazil to pick up your green card, but as long as you have a good job offer, you don't have a criminal record and you pass your medical in Brazil, you'll return in 2 weeks.
Do you know, so because of the way I entered the United States, is that an issue as well?
Because you were 6 years old. You had no control over it.
Okay, so I wouldn't need a waiver, like a 212 waiver for it?
No. I don't know any
Awesome. Okay.
I don't know any 6-year-old who has control over what they do.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so yeah, so the answer is yes. As long as you continue to have DACA and you have no unlawful presence after your 18th birthday, there's no misrepresentation because it happened when you were 6 years old, you would go back to Brazil and come back.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Let's go to Samantha in New York. Hi, Samantha.
Hi there. Thank you so much for your prestigious service, Mr. Bernstein.
Okay.
I want to just find out, right? I just recently contacted a lawyer and started stuff. So I was here for the past 15 years and overstayed my H-1B visa or something like that. But they're telling me how that even though I was working off the books in cash, will it hurt me if I say that I was working and not paying taxes? What is my best option?
You married a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your best option is to tell the truth. The fact that you worked undocumented is not a bar to you getting a green card. If you have to go back and pay a couple of years back taxes as a result because you didn't pay any taxes, so be it. That's the cost of getting a green card. But I wouldn't lie. It's not barring you from getting a green card.
No, I know, but I just wanted to know because if I said in that work, there's no paper trail at the end of the day.
You tell the truth. When you're married to a U.S. citizen, undocumented employment is not a bar to getting a green card.
Okay, then.
The
Thank you so much.
the only bar to getting a green card is lying, so tell the truth.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, I just wanted to know because I'm like afraid to sign the papers.
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Carnell in Clarendon, Jamaica.
Hello, Mr. Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a permanent resident of the United States. I have a brother in Jamaica who is 14 years old. His father's name isn't registered on his birth certificate. So I was wondering if I could add my name to his birth certificate or adopt him and file an I-130 for him.
No, you can't add your name because you're not the father. You can adopt him, but if you adopt him, you got to prove you lived in the same household with him. Did you ever live with him?
No, I don't live with him.
Okay, so then adopting him would never get him here. So none of those options work. Perhaps an orphan petition, if he doesn't live with the mother, doesn't live with the father, he's abandoned in Jamaica, and you strip the parents of the parental rights, but you would need to be a citizen to do that. And then bring him to the United States to do an adoption here. But
okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Gagi in Manchester. Gagi. Gagey.
Yes.
Yes, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I have a question. So on 8th July this year, me and my spouse had an interview, and so it lasted about 2 hours, and finally the officer asked me some paperwork, and she told me that you're going to receive within 2 weeks, and you have to respond my email. So it's been almost 2 months, and I checked my status, and it says my interview is completed. My case must be reviewed. So how long it takes, or what should I do, or do I have to
wait at least 120 days before you freak out. And
120 days?
Yes, and after 120 days, call me back and let me know nothing's happened, and we can talk about it. But they have 120 days to make a decision.
Okay. So thank you.
There's nothing
Thanks
anyone can do right now except wait. Even if you hired me, I would just tell you wait. There's nothing we can do. Wait till 120 days, and then let's figure it out. Hopefully you get a decision, and hopefully it's a positive one.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Let's go to Abby in Louisville.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Abby.
Yes, sir. So I'm a permanent resident of Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
I recently got a criminal charge, stolen property firearm. It's been diverted, and I'm on 2-year probation.
What do you mean by diverted?
Diversion program.
You went through a diversion program.
Probation.
Okay.
So I received I think it's 3 years probation, yes.
Well, you wouldn't get probation if you're going through a diversionary program. That's generally not how it works. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happens in Kentucky. I'm not familiar with the Kentucky Penal Code. But a diversion program is that you do not plead guilty to anything. You go to some sort of program, and then you successfully complete the program, and they drop the charges. I don't know what you mean by probation. Maybe you mean probation is some sort of, I don't know, but it's possible. I don't know what they do in Kentucky. But any event, let's assume it. Did you plead guilty to anything?
Yes.
Then it's not a diversionary program if you pled guilty to something.
So I pled guilty. It's not a diversionary program. So it's just probation.
You pled guilty to something. In other words, a crime for immigration. The definition of a crime for immigration is you go to court, you say, I am guilty, or a judge finds you guilty, and they give you a sentence. A sentence could be pay a fine, you're on probation, you go to jail, some sort of punishment. Okay. A diversionary program does not meet the definition of a crime for immigration. So if you go through a diversionary program, then you don't have a criminal conviction for immigration. And the way diversionary programs work is the judge, you go to court, the judge says, I'm going to withhold judgment on you. We're not going to say you're innocent. We're not going to say you're guilty. I'm not going to ask you if you're innocent or guilty. What I'm going to tell you to do is do A, B, and C. Some sort of punishment, whether it's go to a class, stay out of trouble, whatever it may be. Do what I tell you to do, come back to me, and I'll drop the charges. That's a diversionary program. I don't know what you did. I don't know what happens in Kentucky, but that's a diversionary program.
Yes, it was a stolen property, firearm.
No, but I understand that, but I don't know what procedure you went through. Now, some people, like for instance in Texas, they have diversionary programs, and then they have statutes that after you plead guilty and you do your probation, you can get your conviction vacated. That is not a diversionary program. It's still a conviction for immigration purposes, because they basically vacated after the fact. That's not a diversionary program. So I don't know what you're going through, but I think what you need now. You have a green card? What do you have?
Yes, I do have a green card.
When did you get your green card?
I think 2015 or 16.
Okay, where are you from?
Somalia.
And how long have you been in the United States before you got your green card?
About a year and a half or 2 years maybe.
And you all right, so you came in 2013?
No, we came 2014, September.
With a green card?
Yeah.
Okay, when were you arrested for this theft offense?
Not that long ago.
So more than 5 years after you came?
No.
Less than 5 years?
Yes, it's 5 years after I came, yes.
And tell me again what you pled guilty, or what you believe happened. It was a theft offense, and what?
It was possession of a firearm.
Possession of a firearm.
Stolen property, yes.
Stolen property. Okay, but no jail time or anything?
No jail time.
Okay. All right, it's either, I'm not sure what you pled guilty to, but you're entitled to one crime of moral turpitude that happened more than 5 years after your entry into the United States. And as a green card holder, that doesn't make you deportable. So it sounds like to me, even if it is a criminal conviction, it's not deportable, which is different than traveling. It's inadmissible, perhaps. You would get stuck coming back in, but they wouldn't be able to touch you as long as you stay in the U.S. And assuming ultimately down the line you don't get arrested again, and you wait the 5 years and you have 5 years good moral character, you can do your citizenship. But I think you need a consultation. We got to see what you pled guilty to. Hold on.
Okay, so so in order to get my citizenship, I got to wait 5 years.
I don't know that. What I told you is you need a consultation. I got to see what you pled guilty to. You may still be in a diversionary program and not even know. So we got to figure this out. Okay, hold on. All right. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered in your meat and potatoes of the show, you can always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. You follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. You could drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your question as best as I can, or tell you need a consultation. You could also follow us on Instagram at BradShowLive. You you have not 2 hours to watch us, but 30 seconds. Follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. I'm proud to announce, Jonathan, that we hit over 100,000 followers on Instagram at Bradshaw Live.
Awesome.
And I'm also our newest social media platform, TikTok. I'm also proud to announce in the last 7 days, on that Bradshaw Live, we had 1.3 million views of our TikTok videos, right?
Yep.
1.3 million.
In 7 days.
1.3 million people watched me answer immigration questions in 7 days.
Yes.
So follow us on TikTok at Bradshaw Live. And Jonathan, what do you got going?
You can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, Vanessa's going to speak with partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette about a recent Spar and Bernstein case in which a Jamaican couple who had lived in churches for more than 2 years to avoid deportation, they are now about to become United States green card holders.
And now it's time to hear some immigration stories people have shared with us. Where are you or your family originally from, squad? I want to know. Let us know in the comments.
My grandparents came from Russia, and my wife's parents came from Italy. They immigrated back in 1910, and they became citizens, and life started from there. I'm third generation immigrant.
Nice, nice.
As we all are.
My immigration story was blind love. I met my husband online. Yeah, they say love at first sight, I say love at first email. It's been 12 years, happily married, 2 kids.
We came in 2006. We came as a whole family, and I was 14 when I came here, and we were chasing the American dream for a better future.
I came here 8 years ago because I'm married with my husband. And my cousin Nigel, he came here because study here, and then he decided to live here.
My family, they're actually of Ecuadorian descent. I'm the first member of my family to be born here in America. Well, basically it all starts with my grandpa. He was the one who initiated the start to move to the United States. Him and my grandmother had 12 kids. They brought them here to the States. The economic standpoint at that time wasn't a good one. They struggled to get to where they are today, but thanks to God and everything, like everything went well, and I was able to be born here along with my other cousin who was also born in America. So it's honestly been a great journey, thanks to him. That's my grandpa.
All right, let's check out social media, see what's going on there.
Our first one comes from Sheikh Muhammad Ibrahim.
Sheikh or Sheikh? Maybe Sheikh Muhammad.
Sheikh.
Right.
Sheikh Muhammad.
Sheikh Muhammad.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Brad Squad VIP member. My father is a green card holder. He applied for me under the F2B category in August 2020. How long will the approval take? I'm from Pakistan.
Probably at least 3 or 4 years. You're not going to be here for 5 or 6 years, probably.
Crystal Perry, another Brad Squad VIP member. My friend overstayed her B1, B2 visitor's visa to help her sick mother who has a chronic illness. Her case is now at the NVC. She's in the F3 category. What will happen if she stays? Can she fight her case because of the situation with her mother's illness? What will be the process, and what are the chances of her getting a green card without issues?
There's no fighting a case. You're undocumented, you're undocumented. If she's at the NVC and she's in the F3 category, she has a long wait, 12, 14, 15 years. I don't know what the priority date is, but at the end of the case, presumably the mother should hopefully still be alive. She would do a provisional waiver. She would go home. She would come back.
Sitsofe Kodzo, a Brad Squad VIP member. Can someone still apply for AOS after her F1 visa was revoked in her home country due to fraudulent documentation? She had already entered the U.S. She arrived here and got married to a U.S. citizen. Do you think a waiver would do the magic?
A waiver could do the magic if there's hardship, extreme hardship to your spouse, yes.
Malik King, Brad Squad VIP member. My dad and I came to Haiti and he left me with my mom 4 years ago. I came on a CR2 visa holder and now I am 20 years old. Do you think I can get back to the U.S. even if my green card is expired?
You could certainly try. You would need to apply for an SB1 visa. Problem is the embassy in Haiti is most likely closed and not available. But certainly you can try. You can also get on a plane with a green card if you have it, and fight it out at the airport. If they put you in to see an immigration judge, you fight it out before an immigration judge that it was not your intention to abandon your permanent residence.
Ref Run on YouTube. Can I stay in the U.S. while waiting for my I-485 approval?
Yes, because if you leave, your I-45 is done. You get denied automatically. You can't leave. It's the opposite. You must stay.
PS on YouTube, my asylum was granted. As an asylee, can I apply for an I-730 petition for my stepchild?
Of course, as long as the marriage happened before 18.
Rosemary Barnes on YouTube. Considering immigration has made the vaccine mandatory for the medical, what if my primary doctor advises me not to take it?
Then you have to show a medical reason why you can't take it.
Yuri De Souza on YouTube. Is there any reconciliation news?
Not yet. I actually just looked the other day. But I would think the reconciliation news is going to happen after the Labor Day weekend.
P.S. on YouTube. I filed a Form N-400 2 months ago. Now I'm planning to move to another state next month. What will happen to my citizenship application?
You have to let them know you're moving, and it'll get processed in the state where you're moving to.
Jim Cham on YouTube. As an F1 student and married to a U.S. citizen, can unauthorized employment affect my case and adjustment of status?
No. The fact that you worked undocumented does not affect your adjustment if you're married to a U.S. citizen.
Met D on YouTube. I applied for VAWA and received prima facie and also gave my fingerprints. What's the next step?
Wait on an approval.
Okay, and last one, Lakeisha Walters on YouTube. My father was a U.S. citizen when I was a kid. I am now in my 40s. What can I do?
Say it again.
My father was a U.S. citizen when I was a kid. I am now in my 40s. What can I do? We don't know where this person is.
I don't know enough about that. I know we have some more questions, though, Vanessa.
We actually do.
Yeah.
Osama Saidi on YouTube. How long does it take to get approved for the I-130?
Depends on who's sponsoring you.
Thiari Arapo on YouTube. How long do you think it will be before I receive my EAD? I applied on March 21st.
I have no idea when you're going to get your EAD. You know, people think I'm clairvoyant. When will he get his EAD? I have no idea.
Okay, Tanya Smith on YouTube. What is the latest update on the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica? Are they doing interviews for an immigrant visa?
No, they're actually closing down September 8th. And they're rescheduling everybody from September 8th on. Who knows when it'll reopen? It's just trifling.
Okay, DJ4496 on YouTube. My PD is September 30th, 2014. I have downgraded from EB2 to EB3. My I-140 is approved, biometrics are done, and I received my EAD a few months back. When will my PD become current?
It's the same. I don't know when your priority date will become current.
Divas on YouTube. How long is the estimated time for now for a green card through marriage?
About a year.
Abby Ability on YouTube. How long is the estimated time now for a green card for an asylee after it has been submitted to USCIS?
It's supposed to be a year. Some people take 3-4 years. If you're taking more than 18 to 24 months, you should start thinking about a mandamus.
Taufik Dabi on YouTube. I'm a U.S. citizen and I want to submit an I-130 for my parents to get a green card. If they get a green card and come to the U.S., can my parents get insurance free?
Free? Nothing's free in life. Nothing's free.
KNS Natural on YouTube. After NBC contacts you, do they tell you when to pay the fees, or should I go ahead and pay them?
They'll tell you when to pay.
Maria Boston on YouTube. I filed VAWA in May 2017 with an I-485. RFE response sent in December 2018.
Do I need to get my magic 8-ball out? She wants to know when she's going to get a green card?
Since then, no response on my application for years. What could possibly be going on?
COVID, budget cuts by Trump, a lot of people filing VAWA cases, people working from home at immigration. Remote work is killing everybody. That's what's going on. At one point, you may want to do something about it and contact us.
Navi Gotra on YouTube. I had my green card interview on April 5th of 2021, but no decision has been made yet. What can I do?
Wait.
And last one, Familia de la Peña on YouTube. Is it true that federal inmate time will be 65% instead of 85%?
I am not a criminal defense attorney. I don't know that for a fact. I have no idea. All right, Vanessa spoke with Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette about a recent successful case in which a couple from Jamaica who had been seeking sanctuary from deportation by living in Philadelphia area churches for over 2 years are now about to become proud green card holders. Let's watch.
Hey Brad Squad, Vanessa Contreras here with Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre Maingrette to discuss a recent successful case in which a couple who had been seeking sanctuary from deportation by living in churches for 2.5 years are finally back in their New Jersey home and waiting for their green card approvals. Hey Shannon.
Hi, how are you, Vanessa? How's everything?
I am well. Let's get into it. Can you share what are the facts in this case?
A couple come to the United States. They are from the island of Jamaica, and they came in and they applied for asylum. So 2005, they end up actually in front of an immigration judge because their application for asylum was denied or referred to immigration court by the asylum office. So they go in front of the judge, and it's a lengthy process. They end up actually having their case heard. Their asylum claim was that they were basically being threatened and persecuted by gangs in Jamaica. And they wanted to be able to be protected by the United States government because they feel that if they go back to Jamaica, they were going to be persecuted again by these gangs. Their home was set on fire by these gang members. And so ultimately, when they went in front of the immigration judge and the judge heard their testimony and their case, the judge ends up denying their case in 2008. The reason for denial was that they were unable to show the connection between the gang members' actions and a protective reason. So they have to show that the gangs were either persecuting them to, let's say, their political opinion, or maybe because of their nationality, or maybe because of their sexual orientation, or maybe because they were a woman or a man, or their religion. You have to show something that basically it's a protected identity. Like, why should you be protected? And so you have to show that characteristic. Unfortunately, the judge basically stated that, yes, I mean, gang members did come in, they did burn down, but it's violence. It's violence that's going on in the country. And there's not a reason that they were targeting you that we need to protect. It's just violence that's going on in the country. And so at that point, they were denied. This went all the way up to the federal court, the Third Circuit. So once they were denied, they actually appealed their case in a timely manner to the Board of Immigration Appeals. And then afterwards, the Board of Immigration Appeals agreed with the immigration judge, what took it to the federal court, but that was also rejected. And then at that point, basically, they did a motion to reopen with the board, and that was denied. So at that point, they end up having an order of removal. And that order of removal for both mother and father, husband and wife, basically was in place. And they had something called an order of supervision. And the way that I explain it to people is it's similar to probation. So you now have this order of removal. The government can remove you. And an order of supervision is that every year or so, they tell you to come to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement office, and they're checking up on you. Have you been arrested? Have you done anything wrong? And they usually do these for people who have children, who have family members. There's a reason to keep them in the country. And so literally from 2008 up until recently, they were on this order of supervision where they were actually being routinely checked upon. I mean, they had small children that were born in this country, so they had a reason to stay to take care of these children. So the officers allowed them to do that in spite of the order of removal, and also their case was going through the system. And so that's really ultimately what ends up happening. But Trump comes into office in 2018, the officers were like, we're going to have to deport you. And at that point, a stay of removal was put into place. That was ultimately denied. And that's when they ended up going into the church for protection purposes.
Okay, Shannon, so the couple had been in the United States since 2005, and they were hardworking people. What did they do for a living?
The husband was in construction, so he was working there, very hardworking, supported his family on that income. And his wife was a nursing assistant. I ended up speaking to the wife. She had called the office for a consultation, actually during the pandemic, and explained that she was staying at a church, and this was her story, this was what was going on. And she really talked about the fact that she wanted to help. I mean, she emphasized that so much, like with what's going on, she feels that she has the skills to be able to contribute. And as you know, there was like a shortage of nurses and doctors. They wanted a lot of people to come in and help with this pandemic. You had a lot of nurses retiring in fear of getting sick. And she was just like, I want to help. And I am forced to remain in this church because I need to remain in the country to be there for my children, but I want to help. And what can you do with this? And at that point, basically, I indicated that we would be able to do a motion to reopen in immigration court because she actually already had an approved I-130. Her daughter, who's over the age of 21 and is a U.S. citizen, had petitioned for both mom and dad, and that had been approved. So that part was done and over with, and that was great. So next step was filing a motion to reopen the court case so they can be able to get their green card through the daughter.
And now, Shannon, how many members of the family moved into the church?
Mm-hmm. So there were 2 younger children that were actually staying with them that needed to be supervised, obviously, in their early teens. So they were U.S. citizens, remained with mom and dad, and the older daughter was living on her own.
And where was the church located?
The church was located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Immigration, there's basically these laws that are in place that there's guidance also that immigration and customs enforcement should not be going to certain places that are considered safe or sanctuaries, churches, schools, that they won't go into these areas in order to get people. So houses of worship, they're trying not to go into these places in order to apprehend people, especially for removal orders. And so that's where they were at that particular time.
And Shannon, can you explain why people move into churches to avoid deportation?
They basically at this time, usually it's almost like a last ditch effort. It's like, what do I do? They're coming after me. I've had individuals who are in a similar situation as this couple who years have been living here, have children, are working, and now they're being told that this removal order from years ago that they're going to now enforce and they're going to deport. And at that point, they're afraid. And it's like, okay, obviously I need more time. So they end up going to these sanctuaries, these safe places where they understand that they will not be apprehended or taken by immigration and customs enforcement. And it also allows them to be able to get an attorney, to be able to assist them, just like this couple did, to ultimately prevail in court.
And how many undocumented people are currently living in sanctuary in churches around the country?
There are about 40 people in the United States living in churches, and it's in about 16 states or so.
I can imagine living in a sanctuary situation can be very difficult.
Absolutely. It's certainly difficult in normal times, right? Because you're now away from the comforts of your home, being able to be familiar with what's going on in your home, but you're now living in a sanctuary, a church setting. Basically, you have different rules now that are being applied to you. So very difficult. You understand that it's a blessing, I guess, because at the end of the day, you're being protected and you won't be deported, but also very difficult because now you have moved either yourself or your entire family to this church, this house of worship, where you need to live until further notice. but became even more difficult because of the fact of the pandemic. And it was, whereas before people were able to come in, there was like a steady flow of visitors coming in to talk to you, to stay with you and ask you questions and support you and provide you food. And now with the pandemic, that didn't happen. All of that ceased. And now you're like really lonely, to be quite frank with you. And I know that depression was a major issue, certainly during the height of the pandemic when everyone was quarantined and there was like the stay-at-home shelter in place enforcement. But can you imagine for them, now they're in a church, they can't see anyone, it's just the four of them. It just became very, very difficult. It just became a very, very difficult situation for all involved.
Now, Shannon, did you have concerns that the couple seeking sanctuary in a church would affect their case?
There are certain people who do it, and the government attorneys sometimes are very angry about that. But in this case, because of the couple, like I said earlier, when I was speaking to the wife, the genuine concern about helping people and wanting, like you could tell, like this was genuine. She wanted to make a difference. You saw a difference in who wanted to help her. And you could see that because 2.5 years living at a church, obviously, these have to be special people. The entire community got together to really assist her. From U.S. senators, such as U.S. Senator Cory Booker, who had ran for president, U.S. Senator Mendez, you had these individuals, powerful people reaching out. And it's very important to keep in mind, normally they do not want to get involved in these kind of litigation cases, but they did. Because this is the kind of couple, people who come into this country, they didn't do anything wrong. They haven't been arrested. They have a family here. They're working hard. They're making a difference. They have skills to contribute to the community. This is what society really is looking for to a certain extent. And as a result, you had all these individuals really supporting, reaching out to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, saying, hey, why don't you do whatever it takes in order to allow them to be able to get a green card? And ultimately, the beauty of this is that the Philadelphia people in charge were like, we want to work this out. We want to make a difference in this couple's life, in this family's life. What can we do? And what I had suggested, which was the motion to reopen, was get this filed as soon as possible because we want this to work out.
So what specific documentation was in the motion?
So basically what was in the motion were documentation to show family relationships, which were the birth certificates of the children, ultimately to show that they were, number one, their children and also U.S. citizens. So we submitted those documentation. We also submitted their work information, that they've been working, that they basically had jobs and that they were contributing to society, that they filed taxes. We submitted those documents. We also submitted documentation like affidavits, as we talked about, from all these individuals, politicians, heads of nonprofit organizations that became very involved, immigrant advocacy groups that were indicating that this is not what you want to do. This couple has contributed to the community. So really powerful testimony from these individuals about what they've done in order to make their community better. This is a family that loves their children and want their children to continue to succeed. And do you really want to deport these parents from these children and will forever impact these kids' lives? And sometimes people don't understand that. A lot of times children, people are like, well, they're US citizens, but this impacts them tremendously when they know that they are going to possibly be separated from someone that they've known all their life, their mom or their dad, and they don't understand the concept of, well, they don't have papers. For them, that it just doesn't make sense. And so affidavits from them, to submit about what their parents have done, the kind of influence they've had in their lives. All of this was submitted to immigration. And again, this had been in the papers, this had been in news outlets, so we submitted those documents also. And ultimately, the government attorney was on board and was reaching out to us with detailed emails about, okay, I got this. Okay, so now here is the next steps. We were working together, the government attorney in our office, to make this basically go right. And that's the beauty of this. That's the greatness of how it should work. It shouldn't always be just opposing counsel. It's about what's in the best interest of not only the country, but for everyone involved. And it's not about prosecuting these individuals. It's about looking at the details, looking at the facts of this case. Is it really worth it? And it was wonderful to have a government attorney who realized that why should we waste resources on this kind of family? We should be looking to see ultimately they can get a green card. Let's see how we can reopen this case. So in this joint motion to reopen, we requested government use your prosecutorial discretion, basically join in with us to ask the court reopen this case, which is the Board of Immigration Appeals in this particular circumstance. We both signed off on the motion to reopen and submitted it to the Board of Immigration Appeals, who ultimately reopened the case and remanded it or sent it back to the immigration court.
And this shows how important it is for families going through removal to have a good attorney as well as a support from the community.
It is. I mean, a lot of time when I do the motion to reopen, I tell our clients the importance of what you're doing, how you're contributing to society. Many people, of course, immigrants come to this country, a lot of times they want to work, so they're working, but there's other things that they may do. Like they might be involved in their church. They might be involved in, like, sometimes they coach a soccer team, or they're just actually playing on the soccer team, or maybe they guide their child on a sports team. And all of this we put into the motion to reopen because it shows really this person, who this person is. And that's really a lot of times what the judge or the government attorney wants to see. Does this person merit or deserve this opportunity? And what have they done to demonstrate that they deserve it? And that's really what the motion to reopen is about. And so when you have the support of the community, when you have your neighbors and powerful politicians, state politicians, really sitting there saying, we are going to advocate for you, it means a lot.
And what is one of the first things the couple did once they were able to leave the church and go back home?
So basically, they had a routine in the past where they would go to a restaurant and people watch. And so that's what they ended up doing. They went back to their routine where they would, just grab something and sit outside and really people watch. Something that probably people would take for granted. It was a great moment to hear that.
Wow, Shannon, congratulations to your clients and to you and Spar and Bernstein for keeping this family together in America. If you or your loved one are in deportation or are in need of immigration legal services, call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. Again, that's 1-800-529-5465.
All right, 9 questions, 50 seconds. Let's go into the Labor Day weekend.
With the W.
With the W. With the win.
With the win.
You ready to win? Let's go.
All right.
50 seconds, Julian.
Do I have to be a citizen to file for my foreign girlfriend?
You have to be a citizen to file for a fiancé visa, yes.
Can I be deported if I got my green card through a fraudulent marriage 4 years ago?
Of course.
Will speaking poor English affect my K-1 visa process?
No.
Can I file for divorce if I am undocumented?
Yes.
How long is the I-751 wait time?
18 to 24 months.
What visa do I need for my employer to sponsor me?
I don't know. There's a lot of different types of visas.
Can I visit on a tourist visa while my green card is pending?
Not if you have an immigrant intent.
Can I work in the U.S. while living in Mexico?
No.
Can I still get prima facie with an approved VAWA?
Yes.
There we go.
Yep.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Vote. We did it. All right, comments. Cut it out.
Let's get to the comments.
Comments of the day. It's like so normal now. Remember that was we were on a streak, we kept blowing up all the time?
Yeah.
I was getting so angry.
Yeah, you were.
All right, let's comments of the day.
Our first comment comes from Abiodun Jimo saying Brad Show is the only immigration show that has no dull moments. Apart from giving accurate answers to immigration questions, it gives the latest news that keeps you informed, and the humor keeps you smiling all through.
This guy knows what he's talking about. That is for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Vanessa.
Okay, next one. Willie L. Williams saying, squat up, everyone. Every time I go in the ocean, I feel like I'm a meal.
It's possible, except the sharks would have it disagree with you now.
Yes.
Right?
Them and their
'Cause
PR.
they're nice sharks.
Yeah, they're
that
nice
don't
sharks now.
feel things.
They're just having a negative encounter with them. They're not really eating you.
Right. Their teeth just accidentally sink into
Yes.
your arm. All right, third one comes from Lisa Bling Rose. Congrats, Uncle Brad Show. Your show is the best. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. I agree.
And our last comment for the week from Rosemary Barnes saying, when I think about you, squad, you are the best around the world. Stress relievers for the people.
All right. We like it.
We love it.
All right. So tomorrow, no pop-up.
No pop-up.
We're taking a long Labor Day weekend. And then Tuesday is the Jewish New Year. So we are off. And then Wednesday, we will be back on Wednesday, September 8th. Julie's putting together a good Hump Day show for us.
Ooh.
We'll see you on Hump Day, Wednesday, September 8th. We'll see you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?